Today we're making butter brickle pie. I'm CM Coleman, and today we're going to make a nice frozen pie that is so good for the summertime, and it's pretty easy to make. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making butter brickle pie, and we're going to be doing it in a spring form pan, which you may or may not have, but I do suggest that you get one if you don't have it. Let's start off with 1 1/4 cups of graham cracker crumbs. You can make your own graham crackers if you want, or you can just buy graham crackers, or you can buy graham cracker crumbs. Any of those work. To that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of raw sugar and 1/3 cup of melted butter. Taking my fork, I'm just going to stir this up. I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees, and then what we're going to do, once this is stirred, I'm going to place this into the spring form pan. Using my fingers, I'm just going to press it down into the pan. Try to get a nice even coating, then we're going to bake this for 6 minutes at 350 degrees. After those 6 minutes, we need to cool this completely before we go on to the next step where we pour stuff into the pan. But we have some other step to do. I'll get back to you on that one. Now we're going to make a crumble for our butter pecan pie. It is really easy. It's just a cup of flour, 3/4 cup of quick cooking oats, 3/4 cup of chopped pecans, 1/4 cup of raw sugar. I'm going to mix that up first. Once that's mixed up, I'm adding 1/2 cup of melted butter. And I'm going to add this while I'm stirring. Now we're going to take our oat mixture. I have a baking sheet that's lined with a silicone pad. Now if you want, you can line yours with parchment paper or not line it at all. I'm going to put my oat mixture down and then pat it down, spread it out with my hands. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. 400 degrees for 10 minutes, and then we are going to let this cool completely before we go on to our next steps. After about 10 minutes, and this is now lightly golden brown, we're going to take this out of the oven, and then I'm just going to break it up with my spatula. You want to do this while it's still hot, and it's not hard to do. Once everything is broken up, then what you're going to do is you want to cool this completely until we go on to our next step. Alright, now we're in for the final stages. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with an 8-ounce thing of cream cheese. And that's nice and soft, as you can tell. That's why it was so hard to get off the plate. And then we're just going to cream that up. Now, one of the interesting things that I have found about this is a whipped topping. And I found that if I tried to do it with real whipped cream, it did not hold up as well. So the whipped topping is something you're going to have to deal with until I can figure out how to make a whipped cream that can hold up as well as whipped topping. Now this is sweetened condensed milk. It's 1.5 cups. Now you can make your own sweetened condensed milk. The card will show up right there. Or you can go out and buy the 14-ounce can. Either way works well. We're just going to add that. You want to blend this until it is smooth. Once that is blended till it is smooth, now we are going to add the whipped topping. Now this is a 16-ounce container of whipped topping. For those of you who are old school, you can fold it in. That's really great and everything. I'm just going to gently whip that in there. So we're all ready for the final stages. I'm going to take half of my mixture and place it on top of the layer of the crust. Smooth that around. I'm going to use half of our oatmeal and pecan mixture. This is our homemade caramel sauce. If you want to buy your own, you can, but you can make your own. The recipe will show up right there. What we're going to do is we're going to take half the caramel sauce and just dot it over the top. We're going to finish up with the rest of our whipped topping mixture. Give it a good shake to evenly distribute everything. Put in the rest of our nut mixture. Then we're going to dot the rest of the caramel on top of the cake, on top of the pie. Now we're going to freeze this for about an hour, and then when we come back we'll take it out and it will be delicious. After your pie is frozen solid, you're just going to take it out of the spring form and then slice it. Now the one thing I have found out is, believe it or not, these lights are hot enough that it keeps this thing melting no matter what I do. So I'll show you a glamour shot about now. Now, yes, that pie is going to be a piece that we will actually eat. And that's the cool thing about all the pictures that you see on my channel, is the fact that everything that you see is stuff which is definitely going to be eaten later on. And I can tell you that probably is going to get eaten before the day is done. If you have any comments, ideas, or suggestions, let me know in the comment section, because I'd love to hear from you. If there are certain recipes you'd like me to try, or like me to try and find out some things, just let me know. Put them in the comments. If this is your first time here, remember to subscribe. Every Monday, it's a at-home Monday where I give you advice on being an at-home. On Tuesday, it's a recipe. On Wednesday, it's tips for running your house. On Thursday, it is a cocktail with a recipe, and then on Friday you'll wake up in the morning with a recipe for a sweet treat. Remember, running your house does not have to be a full-time job. Turn it into a hobby and have some fun.